Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. Sorry it's been so long. In case you guys don't know, I had a wedding that I had to go to that was like 2.5 to 3 hours away in Long Island, New York, and so that's why I actually on Friday left work early, and I didn't get back until today. But anyway, that's not why we're here. I want to talk about the Phoenix Suns, because while I was away at this wedding in the hotel room, I was watching basketball quite a bit. It was like the only thing on TV. But the Phoenix Suns have been playing their series against the Denver Nuggets, and it has not looked good. I'm just going to call it what it is. It has not looked good. They seem to have a real fascination for shooting mid-range jump shots. I'm not sure why, but like I would say like half of their shots come from mid-range. And while I understand why they might focus this, I do. Like, you got Chris Paul, you got Kevin Durant. They're two of the best mid-range shooters to ever play the game. And Devin Booker he's good at it. Like, I'll call it what it is. Like, he's solid at shooting mid-range jump shots. But the thing is, like, they don't shoot a lot of threes. And in the first two games, they've basically just gotten blown the fuck out. Like, I'm just going to call it what it is. Like, Phoenix just got their ass handed to them by the Denver Nuggets in the first two games. And this team is just missing a lot. Like, I get that they're not shooting a lot of threes because they don't have a lot of, like, 3-and-D guys. I mean, they have TJ Warren on their squad, but it's not like he's really a priority. And I get why their offense is, like, centered around Devin Booker and Kevin Durant and, like, Chris Paul to an extent. Like, DeAndre Ayton kind of just exists, and unfortunately, like, that sucks. I feel like DeAndre Ayton's going to be the one that suffers from the Kevin Durant trade, only because he doesn't really seem to get like a whole lot of action, it seems, now that Kevin Durant has been there. And I get that, like, he's not going to be a priority because you have Kevin Durant, who shot 55, 40, 90 this year from the field. Like, he's the first 55, 40, 90 player in NBA history after this season. They have Devin Booker, which I understand. Like, DeAndre Ayton should not, you know, like Kevin Durant and Devin Booker should not take a backseat to DeAndre Ayton. But it's just the idea, like, I feel like if Phoenix could just run a normal fucking offense, which they don't do. They took the most mid-range jump shots of any team this past season, like in the regular season this year, and it has not worked because they were 26th in offense. And playing against Denver, they're just getting killed in multiple positions. The mid-range jumpers just aren't fucking falling. They're just not. And that's like the whole focal point of their offense is mid-range jumpers. In game 3, they tried to shoot more threes, but you know, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker didn't really make many of them. And they're getting killed in multiple aspects. Like, they need 3-and-D wings, and they traded away all of them to get Kevin Durant. And as much as I hate to say this, DeAndre Ayton is getting his fucking lunch eaten by Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic had a 30-17-17 last game. Okay? That's almost a 30-20-20. And people don't think Nikola Jokic is the league MVP, but I digress. That's a conversation for another video. But it's just the idea, like, Nikola Jokic went fucking bonkers on DeAndre Ayton. Like, DeAndre Ayton, it's gotten to a point where, like, DeAndre Ayton's almost unplayable for the Phoenix Suns. And I hate to say that because, like, he's such a young guy. He's a guy that I feel like in the right situation would really blossom into a really, really good center. Like, honestly, I'm just going to call it what it is. I feel like he's being held back in Phoenix. Like, I understand why Phoenix matched the contract offer that Indiana gave him, because you can't let him walk for nothing. But, like, he's only playing, like, 25 minutes a game. Like, he's playing almost essentially half of the game. And against Nikola Jokic, he's just fucking non-existent. Like, Nikola Jokic does whatever he wants to DeAndre Ayton, and I don't know what the deal is. Like, DeAndre Ayton has some games, not in this playoffs, but I've seen it in the past where DeAndre Ayton, like, when he's aggressive, when he wants to be good, he can be good, right? Then there's other games, like game 3 they just played, where, like, he puts up, like, 4 points, 9 rebounds, and that's where the train stops. Like, I like, for me, like, He's like on the level of Miles Turner. He's very fucking inconsistent. Granted, the reason I wanted him as a Pacers fan is because I think DeAndre Ayton plays more like a traditional center than Miles Turner does, but he's still in that class of centers. I still think DeAndre Ayton's better than Miles Turner, but it's just the idea like DeAndre Ayton is just, I don't know if he's just afraid to play defense. I don't know. He just doesn't assert himself. And because he doesn't do that, like more often than not, when he's got to play against guys like Jokic and Embiid, he just gets pushed around. Like he just gets fucking bullied. I mean, granted, Embiid and Jokic are going to do that to pretty much everybody they play against. But, like, this is why I think the center position is so important. Like, Nikola Jokic put up a 30, 17, and 17, and people still want to preach that centers don't fucking matter. But it's just the idea, like, this team needs depth desperately, and I feel like Chris Paul's impact as well is just dwindling. Like, Chris Paul is just not what he used to be. I'm going to call it what it is. Like, the guy's still, like, a solid point guard option. Is he worth what they're paying him? No. But it's Chris Paul. Like, I understand why they keep him on the roster. But it's just the idea. Chris Paul is getting into that phase where I think he's not going to win. I definitely, think he's not going to win a ring unless they keep him on the roster and Phoenix makes some drastic changes this offseason. But, I really don't know what else they can really do to fix this team. They really need 3-and-D wings unless they trade up in the draft or something to try and get a guy. I mean, if we go to Fanspo, I don't know. Is Chris Paul on an expiring deal? I'm very curious to see. No, Chris Paul still has 2 years left on his deal after this year. So, Chris Paul is locked in until 2024, it seems, which is fucking insane to me. But it's just like at the end of next season, Chris Paul becomes a free agent and he's 38. Like how much more of an asset to your team is Chris Paul really? He's averaging 13 points a game and 9 assists through the past year. But I just feel like the Phoenix could really, in the offseason, free up a lot of cap space if they can find somebody to take Chris Paul. And, it's Chris Paul, so, maybe some team will take him for, the veteran presence, but, I don't think Chris Paul is completely useless. I just think he's getting paid a whole lot of money to be a point guard for a team that he's just kind of lost his effectiveness on. And, I understand Monty Williams wants to keep him around, I get it, but, I have an odd feeling in the offseason Phoenix is going to try to move him, because these playoffs for Chris Paul, I mean, he didn't play Game 3, if I'm correct. I kind of want to look at it now, because they're playing tonight. They're playing in 6 minutes. But in this last game here, Game 3, Chris Paul didn't even play. Yep, he didn't play. So then we go to Game 2, and what did he do in Game 2? Game 2, Chris Paul played 25 minutes, shot 4 of 10 from the field, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, so not a great game out of Chris Paul. And then once again, in Game 1, I can't even find it, it won't show it to me, which is really weird. But it's just the idea, Chris Paul is just not what he used to be, and I feel like if this team's gonna win with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker on the roster, Chris Paul's gotta go. Some of the guys on their team are okay. I like Torrey Craig. I'm gonna call it what it is. I like Torrey Craig. I like Landry Shamet. I like Cam Payne. But they need help up front. They need 3-and-D wings, and they don't have any anymore since trading for Kevin Durant, and that's where they're getting killed. They're really getting killed on defense, and their offense needs to change in order for them to win anything in this series. If they're gonna win a championship, okay, they need to, the Phoenix Suns really need to go back to just playing regular fucking basketball. The mid-range jump shot is the hardest jump shot in basketball, statistically speaking, okay? I understand you have 2 of the greatest mid-range jump shooters of all time on your team in Chris Paul and Kevin Durant, but the thing is, you're not hitting them, okay? So In game 3, yes, they let Devin Booker and KD shoot more three-pointers, but the thing is, like, you need to come up with a better offensive plan. You can't just keep jacking mid-range jump shots and hope that they go in. And Chris Paul's been kind of useless. DeAndre Ayton's been kind of useless. So, yeah, the Phoenix has a lot of work to do this offseason. It's funny because I'd be like, yeah, trade for Miles Turner, but even Miles Turner is like not gonna fucking help them. So I don't know. I don't know what they can do. But tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. A like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to, if I could talk. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more. I'm the Fast Break Report, and out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.